Alright, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I am talking about the Rick Owens Moncler collaboration. So recently Rick Owens collabed with Moncler and there are a lot of misconceptions out on the web. I've seen a lot of people say that this is part of the Moncler Genius collaboration, which it isn't. And as this video progresses, you'll learn more about the collaboration. There is a really good article on the Moncler collaboration with Rick Owens, so I'm going to put that in the description below and in the comment section. And in this article, they interviewed Rick Owens about the Moncler collab. And one of the things that Rick Owens said was when Moncler initially reached out to him, they actually wanted Rick Owens to be part of the Moncler Genius collaboration. So now with the Moncler Genius collaboration, Paulo stopped being part of the Moncler Genius collaboration last season, and the new person that's now joined Moncler Genius is JW Anderson. So it makes me wonder if that spot that JW Anderson took was actually reserved for Rick Owens. But in the article, it also goes deeper into talking to Rick Owens and him saying how he doesn't think he works well in a team and he doesn't think he would work well collaborating on such a huge team. He's a very individual type of designer, and that's fair enough, to be honest. He knows himself and he's staying true to himself regardless of the opportunity that could have arisen from it. However, when an artist named Michael Heizer reached out to Rick Owens and told Rick Owens that he wanted Rick Owens to visit one of his art pieces that he's been working on since the 1970s, it was an opportunity that Rick Owens and Michel Lamy could not say no to. And Rick Owens actually had an interesting idea for going to this place. So he reached back out to Montclair and said, instead of the Genius collaboration, how about we collaborate on creating a tour bus that I will use to travel to Michael Heizer's site and also as part of the collaboration with Moncler. This is very unorthodox and very creative, and that just goes to show how Rick Owens' mind works and how much of a creative mind he is in terms of thinking of something like a tour bus to collaborate with a fashion brand to make. And for those of you who don't know who Michael Heizer is, I do prompt you to go and look at some of his work. Michael Heizer is an artist that makes sculptures, but the only difference between him and most artists and what makes him a pioneer is the scale of his sculptures. He likes to make large scale sculptures, so not sculptures that will fit in a gallery or anything. He likes to make huge sculptures, like sculptures that span miles. And one of the projects he has been working on since 1972, titled City, is actually a 1.5 mile long artwork that he has just completed, and it was set to open to the public this year, but however, because of obviously the pandemic and all that stuff, I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But definitely check Michael Heizer out. He has a lot of amazing artwork. He lives in Nevada, which is where he invited Rick Owens and Michel Lamy to visit, and that was his site called City that he told them to visit. He's also made a lot of art pieces in Nevada. There was one where he kind of made 2 ditches and he displaced a lot of land and rock in an area to make something that looks really aesthetically pleasing. And due to the nature of Michael Heizer's artwork and the location of it, which is in Nevada, which obviously is in the desert, it's not the type of place you can really walk around. And that is why Rick Owens and Michel Lamy wanted to make this tour bus. This is probably the craziest tour bus I've ever seen. Moncler, of course, designed the tour bus. So on the wheels, there was a Moncler logo. In the interior, the walls were kind of this down material. The bed was down. Rick Owens and Moncler made this kind of duvet that was kind of like a puffer jacket kind of duvet, which was really cool. As part of Rick Owens' collaboration with Moncler, he also made a lot of garments. And in the tour bus, there was actually a clothing rack with all the pieces from the collaboration hung, which was really cool. So Rick Owens and Michel Lamy took this tour bus from LAX through Area 51. They made a pit stop at Las Vegas, and then they finally went to Michael Heizer's ranch where he has a lot of his artwork. A cool thing about this whole experience was Moncler had photographers follow Rick Owens and Michel Lamy, and when they made pit stops, they took photos, and then those photos became the campaign photos for this collaboration, which I thought was really cool. So fast forward some time, and of course Moncler Genius had their presentation at Milan Fashion Week, as they always do every year since it started. For the past, now we're in the 3rd season. And at this presentation, Rick Owens also presented his Moncler collaboration. And I think this is where the confusion was, where people thought it was part of Moncler Genius because it was presented at the same presentation that Moncler Genius was being presented, but it isn't part of Moncler Genius. It's just a separate Moncler collab. And at this presentation, apart from of course all the Moncler Genius designers, which I'm going to talk about in the next video, so definitely stay tuned for that, you could actually view Rick Owens' garment collection with Moncler, as well as the tour bus. And even you can obviously order the garments, but the tour bus is also available to be pre-ordered, which to me is crazy. Who would buy, like, it's a cool thing to own, but why would anyone buy a massive bus with down material walls? I mean, if you're just stinkingly rich, then I guess to those type of people, it's just another piece of artwork. So I kind of get why some people would order the tour bus. When asked about the clothing collection, Rick Owens said that his inspiration for this collection was just taking his favorite pieces from his Rick Owens brand and then reinterpreting them with Moncler materials and the down material. So in terms of the actual clothing, to me, there wasn't really much to talk about, because all the garments that we saw from the Rick Owens Moncler Genius collab, it was basically everything we've seen Rick already make. Like you said, he just literally took his favorite pieces from his own line and just reinterpreted them. So in terms of innovation, compared to like the Moncler Genius stuff where they make completely new stuff, it wasn't the most innovative of collabs, and it almost seems to me like a cash grab, because Rick Owens didn't want to be part of Moncler Genius, which I respect. However, he still went on with the collab, and then all he did was just reinterpret stuff that he has already made. So I don't know how I feel about the garments. I don't know how I feel about like innovation, because it's not the most innovative collaboration in the world, and this is just me being really critical, of course. I don't feel the need to like lie to my audience and say that it was groundbreaking when it really wasn't, just because Rick Owens is one of my favorite designers and I love everything that he does for the most part. If we talk about the garments, I saw a lot of different things, from socks, and then there were different puffer silhouettes. So there was one that Michelle Lamy was wearing that was kind of a cropped silhouette. We saw one that was kind of a normal length, and then we saw a long line puffer jacket. But what I really liked about this and what made it interesting was it was sleeveless. I don't think I've seen many long line sleeveless puffer jackets, so I thought that was quite interesting. There were two boots. There were boots with the very famous Rick Owens lacing system that he's been doing for the past season. But these, of course, were interpreted in the Moncler way. So these are more made to be snow boots and boots that you wear in snowy weather, as opposed to wooden boots that you wear on the streets of Paris. There was an Area 51 cap that Rick Owens was wearing in the lookbook, which was really amazing because, of course, they visited Nevada. So I found it quite cool that because the whole collaboration was about visiting Michael Heizer's ranch and looking at his artwork, that they also reinterpreted that back into the clothes. I thought that was interesting. And in terms of innovation, that's probably the only like new creative thing that came out of this collaboration. There was also a really cool jacket that was kind of like half fleece Sherpa and half puffer jacket that Rick Owens was wearing in the lookbook as well. That was really cool. As part of this collab, they were also selling the down duvet that they made that they used on the bed, so it doubles as a scarf and as a duvet, which is quite cool. And it's also important to note that everything made in this collab, for the most part, was made in different colorways. So there were black silvers and then this kind of like maroony, browny, reddy color. I'm not sure what exact color that is, but most of the pieces were in those three colorways. So even like the boots didn't just come out in black, they came out in silver and in the maroon color, and that was the same for like a lot of the jackets, a lot of the scarves and all the other pieces basically. So in a nutshell, I really like the collaboration. Of course, I said it's not the most innovative, but it's really good because he's pushing the envelope, especially with that tour bus. That's just insane. That's crazy. Of course, if I was to buy anything from his collection, I would buy the Area 51 hat, because all the other stuff I could just buy as part of the Rick Owens main line. The only difference is just the materials basically, which is also cool because let's say someone likes Margiela tabby boots. If you like the leather tabby boots, you might like the suede as well. That's kind of how I see this collaboration with Moncler. But me saying it's not innovative is actually not a knock to Rick Owens. That just shows how experimental his design is, that even though for Moncler Genius, his collaboration, he just reinterpreted his favorite pieces for his own brand. in a Moncler way, they still look on par with like some of the Moncler Genius collaborations. That's insane. So yeah, comment down below what you guys think about the Moncler collaboration with Rick Owens. I keep saying Moncler Genius by mistake. It's not part of Moncler Genius. Comment down below what you think of the garments. Do you like the clothes? Was I too harsh saying it's not the most innovative? Definitely let me know in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram at Fashion Roadman, where I talk a lot about fashion. If you're subscribed, please turn on your post notifications so you're notified when I post my next video. Like this video and stay tuned for more videos.